has a Golgi apparatus, and the Golgi apparatus is an organelle in the eukaryotic cell with a system of flattened tubular membrane. They modify proteins and send them to their appropriate destination. And cells also produce a lot of different energy, and cells make up tissue, and tissues make up bonds.
That light really hurt your eyes. Okay, I've learned that cells are composed of atoms and molecules, and cells make up tissues which then make up organisms or organs, and they make organ systems. Then the organ systems make organisms, and cells are smaller, so they can get protein and energy through them faster into them. That's pretty much all I can think of right now.
Action.
I am Nathan Padberg. I am in biology period 3. What I've learned this year is that there are more to everything than there really meets the eye. Like the differences between the two cells, plantains and animals, and that with everything is composed of cells that are just stuck together. And that's it.
I don't think Mexico has to.
Shut up.
Am I rolling?
You are.
Okay. I learned in Mr. R's 3rd period biology class that cells are the smallest organisms in your body, and that you can't live without them, and that like 25 million cells split every second. I learned that at the beginning I didn't know that there was 2 different kinds of cells. There was a plant cell and an animal cell. I only thought there was only one, and that I didn't even know that plants had cells. I learned that, let's see, that a plant cell has a cell wall, that they both have a nucleus, right? Yeah. And I think that's basically it.
Alright, there are 2 kinds of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Prokaryotic cells just basically have nothing inside. They don't even have a nucleus. And they're mostly like bacteria. And then there's eukaryotic cells, which have nucleus and they have organelles inside them, so they actually have something to do inside. And there's an animal cell and a plant cell, and those are 2 types of eukaryotic cells. And that's pretty much it.
All right. Nicely. Go.
I learned in Mr. R's class that the cell has a nucleus, which is in the middle of the cell. Cells make up organ and organ systems, which make up us. It splits into 20 million different other cells per second, and we couldn't live without it. Yeah, so.
Okay, Mr. R's biology class, I learned that cells are the base of everything and they make up every living thing on the earth. They are microscopic, they contain many different parts. The nucleus is like the brain of the cell. There's different types of cells. There's prokaryotic and eukaryotic, and they split in your body 25 billion times per second. And they're like the foundation of life, and we wouldn't be here if we didn't have them. And that's all.
All right.
The cell is the basic unit of living organisms. Van Leeuwenhoek was the first person to look at water under a microscope and found it was full of living things. He used the simple light microscope. In this class, I learned about the cell theory, which is 3 main ideas: that all organisms are composed of 1 or more cells. The cell is the basic unit of organization of organisms. All cells come from pre-existing cells. 2 basic cell types are prokaryote, which do not have a membrane-bound structure, and eukaryotes, which contain a membrane-bound structure. I learned that cells make tissue to create organs systems to create an organism. that the plasma membrane allows a steady supply of nutrients no matter the external conditions of the cell. The process of maintaining the cell's environment is called homeostasis. Transport proteins allow the substances and wastes to move through the plasma membrane. I learned that both plant and animal cells have a nucleus.
Big. Nice. The best yet. Way to be, Tasia.
I'll do that very fast. I made it almost.
With Ian.
Alright.
There goes my sailor.
All right, here we go. Quiet on the set. Lights, camera, action.
All right. What I've learned in Rasmussen's biology class is that there are 25 million cells reproducing every second in our body, and that there are two different types of cells. There are plant cells and animal cells, and every single cell has a nucleus, and cells go together to make tissues, and tissues go together to make organs, and organs go together to make organ systems, and organ systems go together to make a complex organism. What else do I know? Oh yes, there are 5 phases for a cell to split, which is the interphase, prophase, metaphase, interphase, and telophase. And yep, that's about it.
All right.
Hello, I am Paul Wilhelmy, and I learned a lot of stuff about cells. And one thing was that the animal cell's plasma membrane is made of a phospholipid bilayer. I think that's what it is. And that's what makes it selectively permeable, which means that it can move things in and out of it when it decides to move in and out of it. And that's how it can keep its protein level regulated, or nutrient level regulated, and maintain homeostasis. And I also learned that, what else did I learn? I think I learned that the cell wall of a plant cell gives it its rigid box-like shape and also offers extra protection. And I also learned that, what else did I learn? Oh yeah, plant cells also can reabsorb light that they absorb into their chlorophyll in fall, and that's what gives them their the multicolors of their leaves. And I think that's really cool. And also the fact that they don't absorb green light is what gives them their green color in the first place. And also plant cells have 2 kinds of energy producers, mitochondria and chloroplasts. And animal cells only have 1, which is the mitochondria. And that's it. Yes.
Nicely done.
My name is Shayna Fulmer, and I'm in 3rd period biology with Mr. R. I've learned that cells are the smallest and basic unit of living organisms. Cells have many different things to do with them, like plasma membranes and having to maintain homeostasis. Plant cells and animal cells both have different things. One is chloroplasts, one doesn't, but they do have a lot of the same things. They both have cytoskeleton, which just supports their structure. They both have osmosis, which is the diffusion of water by plasma membrane, or through plasma membrane. All cells have to be really small in order to absorb the nutrients that they need. The cell cycle has 5 cycles, which is interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. And I do know more, but I'm probably going to run out of time, so that's all.
All right.
My presentation is on plants, and there are various types of plants and where they grow, and it depends on the humidity, whether it's dry or wet. And like in the desert, only a cactus can grow in there because they can retain water for up to 7 to 8 weeks, and they never lose energy from the sun or from the water that they retain. And there are also places like the rainforest where really tall trees grow because it's always raining there and it's always wet and damp so that they can grow. And there's always a lot of sun, so they get energy from the sun too. And that's my presentation.
Hey, my name is Doug Gaxer. I'm talking about differences between plant and animal cells. Plant cells have a cell wall when animal cells don't, and when they're in a hypertonic solution, they just become more firm, while animal cells burst because they can't handle it, I guess. And plant cells have a much larger vacuole than animal cells to store stuff, waste. And then plant cells also have chloroplast, which is a green pigment that helps them gain sunlight to do photosynthesis so they can get nutrients. Plant cells don't have it because they eat other organisms to get their own nutrients. Plant cells also have centrioles, and animal cells have centrioles and plant cells don't, but I don't know what they do. That's it.
Is that it?
Yay!
Action.
There are two basic types of cells, animal cells and plant cells. Cells are the basic units of living organisms, and microscopes enabled scientists to view and study cells. Prokaryotic cells don't have organelles surrounded by a membrane, and plant cells have a cell wall and animal cells don't. Yeah, that's it. Done.
My name is Hannah Lundeen, and I'm just giving some basic information of a cell. The definition of a cell are cells are the basic unit of living organisms. There are two types of cells, prokaryotic cells, which are cells lacking internal membrane-bound structures, and eukaryotic cells, cells containing membrane-bound structures. An important part of a eukaryotic cell are organelles, membrane-bound structures within eukaryotic cells. Cells can vary in structure, but most are pretty similar. A few examples of differences in cells can be found comparing a prokaryotic cell and a eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cells do not have internal organelles surrounded by a membrane. A eukaryotic cell has distinct membrane-bound organelles that allow different parts of the cell to perform different functions. Another example of differences are the plant and animal cells. Like the animal cell contains many vacuoles, while the plant cell contains one large vacuole. But there are relations like the endoplasmic reticulum, cytoplasms, nucleus, etc.
Well, I'm talking about plant cells and animal cells, and like plant cells and animal cells are a lot alike. There's some major differences. Like a plant cell has a cell wall, and an animal cell doesn't. And like if it gets in a hypertonic solution, an animal cell will burst, but a plant cell will like just get really firm and stuff. Yeah, the cells or plant cells also have chloroplasts or whatever. They get like green, and yeah, that's their plant cells. Oh yeah, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells.
Oh,
eukaryotic or prokaryotic don't have nucleuses, and like then it like mutated or something. And prokaryotic do have.
All right, cut it.
All right.
My presentation is about cells. Microscopic, yet cells are the heart of every living organism. They're in your day. Throughout your day, you shed millions of them without the slightest thought or concern. There are many types of cells, but two main types of cells. They are animal cells and plant cells. Things like cells that get too many enzymes or not enough or the wrong kind of enzymes form cancer. Cells get their energy from ATP. I don't know much about cells, but that's my presentation.
Yay!
All I know about cells is how to spell them. C-E-L-L-S. That's all.
Both animal cells and plant cells are alike. Both have lysosomes, ribosomes, plasma membrane, nucleus, Golgi apparatus, cytoskeleton, free ribosomes, and mitochondria. But the main difference is that plant cells have chloroplast and the animal cells have a vacuole. And this is a picture of an animal cell.
That's it. Cells are the basic units of living organisms. There are two basic types of cells, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes do not have membrane-bound structures, and eukaryotes do. The membrane-bound structures within eukaryotic cells are called organelles. Each organelle has a specific function for cell survival. The nucleus is the central membrane-bound organelle that manages cellular functions, and the plasma membrane
which is the boundary between the cell and its environment, allows a steady supply of nutrients to come into the cell. The process of maintaining the cell's environment is called homeostasis. Selective permeability maintains homeostasis, and phospholipids are lipids within a phosphate group attached to them.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm Rebecca, and I'm going to do my stuff on animals and plant cells. A cell is basically a unit of living organisms, and plant cells and animal cells are like in many ways, but they're different too. Like one really main one is a plant has a cell wall while an animal cell doesn't, and they have some similar things like a nucleus and yeah, that's all.
Yay!
All right.
There are two main types of cells, animal cells and plant cells.
Doesn't plant cells have a cell? Cell walls are cool.
Cell walls are cool.
My name is Morgan.
And my name's Morgan.
Yeah! Woo!
That's all I got.
I'm in 6th period biology.
Well, I'm Joseph.
Woo!
There's two types of cells, plants and animals. That's about all I know. But I did write this huge thing right here.
Yeah,
Zoom in on it. Took me about 5 minutes. There you go.
Oh my god.
Okay, my presentation is about like cells, and they keep providing you 25 million per second, and I'm holding up the paper that Joseph just did, and said that he did like this in 5 minutes, but I did it in like 2. Okay.
Woo! I'm Jessica Miller, and I'm talking about cells. Cells are the basic unit of living organisms. All living things that are made up of cells. There are two basic cell types, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Prokaryotic cells don't have internal organelles surrounded by a membrane. Eukaryotic cells from an animal has distinct membrane-bound organelles that allow different parts of the cell to perform different functions. That's about all I know.
Woo! Yay!
All right.
Wait. There are two basic types of cells, animal cells and plant cells. Cells are the basic units of living organisms. Prokaryote cells don't have organelles surrounded by a membrane. Eukaryote, most multicellular plants and animals we know have cells containing membrane-bound structures.
My name's Cassie, and I'm a redhead.
Woo!
Yeah, all right.
Come
Good.
on. Cells are basic units of all organisms. All living things are composed of cells. There are two types of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Both have important similarities and differences.
Woo!
Yeah!
And she gets hundreds on.
Okay. Henry. And cells are the basic unit of life. And there's two kinds of cells, eukaryotic and prokaryotic. One of them's simple, and the other isn't.
Prokaryotic cells do not have membrane-bound structures.
Prokaryotic cells do not have membrane-bound structures. Eukaryotic cells do.
And there's significant differences in similarities.
And there's significant differences
and similarities.
And that's pretty much it.
Enable.
All right. Nice, and a nice support structure.
My fingers smell like
Yee.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
Hi, my name is Scott, and I know nothing about cells, but I'm getting 100 points anyway.
You're on.
All living things need cells. There's plant cells and animal cells.
What?
Both have nucleuses, and they can both maintain homeostasis. And you have like millions of cells made every minute in your body.
Right on.
Only few things out there don't have cells, like rocks. Cardboard. And
this thought.
Those are cells. Edit.
That's it.
Alright, the two types of cells are prokaryotic and eukaryotic. And the eukaryotic has a nucleus. And there's animal cells and plant cells, and they both have nucleuses. And the plant cells have a cell wall, and they both also have mitochondria. And let's see. They both have cytoskeletons. The animal cell has a plasma membrane. And
Come on.
the plant cell has a Golgi apparatus.
Golgi.
The animal cell has, I think, large vacuoles, and the plant cell has smaller ones, I think. And come on. Cells are the basic thing of animals, and blah blah blah. And
Yeah, I forgot to set my watch. That's okay. This is fun. Oh!
Okay, there's the animal cell and the plant cells. Cells are the basic element of life. There's many parts to cells. In the animal cell, there's the the cytoskeleton, the Golgi apparatus, the central or whatever, the nucleus, the nucleosis, the mitochondrion, the ER, the ribosome, the cellulome, the vacuole, the free ribosomes, and the cytoplasm, and the plasma membrane. In the plant cell, there's also the lysosomes, the mitochondrion, the ER, the cytoplasm, the chloroplasm, free ribosomes, the Golgi apparatus, the cytoskeleton, the plasma membrane. Thank God.
okay, my name is Mickey Feeble, and I'm going to talk about cells today. Boom! As I have learned about cells that osmosis is the process of water moving out and then through and out cells. And like if you put a cell in a hypertonic, it gets real big and inflates. If you put it in a hypotonic, it gets all shriveled up. And the difference between animal cells and plant cells is plant cells have cell walls, animal cells don't. They have plasma membranes, and eukaryotic cells was actually the prokaryotic and eukaryotic difference between them is prokaryotic was been here a long time ago, and the eukaryotic are the more recent ones that have been here. Eukaryotic have nucleuses and prokaryotic don't have nucleuses.
What?
That was a minute, right? Hi, I'm Ryan. Interphase begins with the G1 stage. At this point, the chromosomes are not visible under the light microscope because they're uncoiled. Protein synthesis is rapidly occurring as the cell grows and develops. Stage 2. During this stage of interphase, the chromosomes are replicated in the nucleus. Chromosomes divide to form identical sister chromatids connected by a centromere. Stage 3. The chromosomes begin to shorten and coil. Protein synthesis is in high gear. In this stage of interphase, most of the proteins begin synthesized
are needed for mitosis, and the cell organizes and prepares for mitosis in animal cells. The central pair replicates and prepares to form the mitotic spindle. Stage 4, mitosis, is the cell reproduction. The two sister cells divide after interphase is complete.
What number achiever?
Alright, I did pictures of plant and animal cells. I wrote out all their similarities, they have a lot of similarities. Both of these cells include lysosomes, cytoskeletons, Golgi apparatus, nucleus, nucleolus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, cytoplasm, free ribosomes, and vacuoles, even though the plant cells' vacuoles have cell sap. Then I wrote that all living things are made up of cells. Eukaryotic cells contain a nucleus. Water moves into a cell placed in a hypertonic solution. Water moves out of a cell placed in a hypertonic solution. And the plasma membrane is made up of lipid bilayer. I have a lot more time, don't I?
Small
I did
cells.
smile. C-E-L-L-S. Cells.
Cells.
My name is Ann. I didn't tell you that. Is it still going?
Spell cells again.
C-E-L-L-S.
Cells.
Make a song.
Cells.
Song. Ah.
I'm Casey Hamlin, and the first thing we draw is a plant cell. No, that's not right. We'll go, yeah, a little bit like that. And then I'm gonna draw a plant cell. Yeah, all right.
An animal cell.
They're the same thing.
That's what I said. I said that's an animal, that's a plant. P-A. Right there. We got the insides there. You got your nucleus, your nucleoculosis. Your plant cell. Once again, you got your nucleus and your nucleoleosis and your this thing right here. And that's cytoplasm. And I don't have any room over there. So here's a Venn diagram right here. And plant, animal. This has one large vacuole cell right up in here, I believe. Yep, vacuole cell with sap. And the animal cell, who cares about the animal cell? But this one, yeah, wait, that has an endoplasmic reticulum, and that is located right around in there. And then you have, this has a plasma membrane, and that is, let's see here, plasma membrane is around the outside around here somewhere. And then, hold on. And then you have your chloroplast up here somewhere. And similarities. They both have lysosomes, ribosomes, Golgi apparatus.